Good afternoon. Let me know how my sound volume is. Today is the 31st of October. Happy Halloween. And we can see our happy little kitten up in the top corner. Let's jump into today's episode and check out our raft of cryptocurrencies. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and the last thing we want to see in Bitcoin dominance. What was that? Wow. The last thing we want to see in Bitcoin dominance. Let's jump in. This actually isn't trading advice, even though we're looking at specific markets. Now, let me jump into our stream. And I gotta figure out the chat along the side. That's not it. I apologize for the break there. I still can't get that chat to be working. What is the deal with that? My goodness. Alright, I will go on with the stream and stop fussing with that, but 9 times out of 10 it seems that chat along the side doesn't come up and doesn't work properly. It's quite distracting. Let me see if I'm streaming in the right place to begin with. Good. Okay. So here we are. Let's jump in. Here we are looking at Bitcoin dominance, and in this chart you can see I've got the circle here, the bottom formation, and the breakout. And the circle here, this bottom formation and the breakout. The timing of the noise in the background is awesome. Let me know if the sound is doing good here. I've got it cranked up a little bit higher than normal. So the reason I circled these areas is because of the price movements in Bitcoin. So I'm going to start off by skipping away from this chart on ADA. And I'm going to go over to Bitcoin, and I'm going to zoom out to the long-term view. We had a couple different times that really woke things up. This was a big one that woke things up, and we had a big run right after that big move. This isn't, this is really important that we just had another one of those big reversals set up here. And I think that we are going to be trickling and going very, very much higher, and that Bitcoin dominance is going to go up and the alts are going to get crushed. And these are the 2 points that I circled on the Bitcoin dominance chart. These are the 2 moments. And they were really important because in April I was in denial and I was thinking that the alts were doing an elastic band effect. They are just pulling back a little bit and then they're going to go up even faster than Bitcoin. And they didn't, of course. They may from where we are now, and if they do, then that means this is going to be coming down. But if it doesn't come down, then of course then that's going the other way, and the alts are going to go down in value against Bitcoin as Bitcoin goes on another tear upwards. It won't last forever. This will make a top formation and we're going to continue to watch for it, but until that happens, we are setting up now and watching for that specific pattern. So in this episode, our repeat mission is to go over the charts for ADA, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, Tron, and Ripple. We go over these 6 or 7 markets and we go over 5 different indicators for each one. So the show usually takes 30 minutes at the start to go through these, and then I'm open to any of the questions that you have. Usually as I go through, I'll stumble on something that is for long-term trading philosophy and stuff like that. And if you like any of those things, hit the thumbs up button. If you find this helpful, hit the subscribe button and join in. Let me know where in the world you are from as you're watching this stream. I'm always interested to see where this reaches at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is this the best time to do a live stream? The thing I want to look at here with ADA on the 4-hour time frame, not the 1-day time frame. Let me clear this off. I want to zoom back out to the 4-hour time frame because we've been watching for this for the last few episodes now. This very same thing as we saw this channel set up. I was saying that looks like a flag. It looks like a bearish flag. And I said the only way that we'll know that it is a bearish flag is if we have prices break this RSI trend line as we're breaking prices lower. And so we've seen that come to be. And indeed, it was a signal that I used in my own trading. And now I'm just observing. I want to see what's going on with this RSI now from where we are. I draw a new line on this and give this as the center line that we are now below. We've made a tiny little 1, 2, 3 top formation here and broke below it out of this parallel channel. Now we've come down. If it comes up here and tests it, it's still not bullish. Right, unless this is really breaking higher and starting to do something crazy. And of course, it may. Now, let's go, this episode, I'm going to go into Bitcoin Cash, and I want to look at the very same indicators all the way along. So here, the indicator broke the top right at this point, 1, 2, 3 top on a very small time scale if we zoomed in on that. EOS, the very same indicator, the very same time frame, right here, it broke on all of them. This is why I'm thinking that this is more than just a coincidence. If we go into Ethereum and we see this time frame here, and we see the relative strength index, and it broke at the very same time, the very same place, the very same time. Here again, the very same place, the very same time as these other coins. So when we're seeing a repeat pattern, the very same place, the very same time, over and over again, 1, 2, 3 top formation, even though it's a very small time frame, and I don't really like to trade this time frame, I want to be aware of it because the small time frames build up into the bigger time frames. And we'll see how it goes. TRX, how are you doing? Same thing. A more extreme move, but the same timing where it topped out, it broke down. So now that it's made this top and pulled back, now this is support, resistance up at these levels, up at these coincidental technical support and resistance levels. Coincidence? I think not. But here we are, right into it. So let's channel this. Let's watch this channel rather. Let's channel this. Channel it. Channel the energy to the coin. Let's just watch to see what this relative strength index is doing at this channel. So here again, we've got another great channel in the RSI, and it broke same place, same time. Same place, same time on all of these coins. How does that work out with Bitcoin dominance? Same place, same time. Same place, same time. So I really want to pay attention. Where's my scribbler? For this one, this is the same place, same time, and this is the same place, same time. We're getting right down into the real nook and cranny of it there to see where the support and resistance line was. So should we be building and coming up out of this? All of the alts are topping out, and it makes sense in our bull market watch spreadsheet. We've already been reducing the number of hold positions that we have. On the, what was that, the 9th of October, we were at 79 hold status coins. And we've slowly been edging out of those all the way along here, all the way along. So we are out of the market in the bull market watch. So now, if we do come into some big crack and things do go down hard as Bitcoin is taking off, this is super powerful evidence of the efficacy, of the benefit of being a bull market watch subscriber. Get this spreadsheet. It is work that is really worth your time. Saves you time. Now, I want to go through the same thing on these coins again, and I want to reflect on the on-balance volume. Just observe it, because we had this big dump here at this same place, same time, right? Same place, same time. We were coming into some bullishness, and bam, there it came. So let's observe now the next one. Okay, this had a lot more buying in it, but the buying turned or dropped right at that same point. That's what I want to observe. Just to here again, we had a selling volume come up into buying, but at that moment, at that time, everything changed. Right at this moment, everything changed from being not so bad to being pretty darn bearish all the way along here. So is this a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that's going to turn around and go higher? Maybe, but we really have to see this volume set up there. Otherwise, nothing's going. Ripple, what were you? Ethereum, what were you doing? Same thing. We had actually some little positive volume sticking out of there. It was all like happy days, and boom, down she went. So again, we could have a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom, and we're absolutely watching for that in our indicators. If it starts to edge up above these levels, you know we'll be covering it here. Let's go into Litecoin to see what the volume did. Here's our dump of volume. Came up to a little bit of positive, and right at the same place, same time, the selling started to come in. TRX, you were doing really good. Look at this, happy. Oh, lots of volume and everything. All yesterday we were just like praising it. 2 days ago we were just super happy about this. And this market, I really wasn't watching this parallel channel like the other ones, because they're structured differently, and this is a breakout parallel channel, and the other ones are pullback parallel channels. So now let's pay attention to this top formation and see what goes on. But once the 4-hour EMA is crossover, then that would be an exit signal for us. Difficult because they kept crossing back and forth. Lots of work in trades like that. Let's go on to Ripple to see what went on. Same time, same place. We're all looking good. Double hit off of this top. We know we had the divergences all screaming at us all the way through this. The MACD, well, we'll get into that. Right now, I want to see the same time, same place, where the volume was getting less bad and then more bad. Let's observe now to see if this turns into a 1, 2, 3 bottom that breaks out. Then Bitcoin dominance will be dropping, and we won't see this green going up. Instead, we'll see it breaking back down, which would be great. It would be great. It would mean that all of this is going to go from neutral stance coins up into alert stance coins first. And then from alert, we'll be going into hold status coins. So we'll get advanced warnings on which coins are going to be going up too. Let me go in now back to the next indicator and start off at the beginning again. So let's go to ADA. We just did this one. Let's go to ADA on the MACD, because this crossed to the positive and it was all good and bullish right here for all of these coins. But now they've all crossed to the negative right as we broke out of that parallel channel. And here's what I mean by that parallel channel, where I wasn't noticing it so much in Tron, because in Tron the parallel channel was like this, up above the breakout. So this parallel channel caught my eye more. It seems like more of a bearish channel. And with this crossover, as we're breaking these levels, it's an action point. Those things add together to become action points. Let's go to BCH ABC. You can speed up a bit on this. Here's the crossover, same time, same place. Cross to the negative, cross to the negative. They are higher crosses to the negative, which to me in the past would be bullish. Here we go, cross to the negative, cross to the negative, right at those very same moments. Like, it's crazy to see the correlation between all of these markets. And then to see Bitcoin dominance making that pattern makes me want to pay attention that Bitcoin is going to be taking off and these alts are going to be punished. Look at this. Look at this formation here. This is a 1, 2, 3 top. This is a 1, 2, 3 top. This is a 1, 2, 3 top. This turns, when you have this set up, we have a head. That's the 1, 2, 3 top. That's the head. This is the right shoulder. This could be the left shoulder. Maybe you could say that's the left shoulder. But certainly head and shoulder top-ish. And breaks down below these levels, sayonara, especially if Bitcoin's taking off. Now we've got more confirmation, and all of this for case studies for the future. Phenomenal stuff. This is actually not crossing to the negative yet and holding itself inside this parallel channel. So it's one of the least affected so far of Bitcoin just demonstrating a little bit of strength. Everything else has been crapping, but this is, Litecoin's been holding its pace so far. Let's tune in tomorrow to see what's going on with Litecoin, because it's certainly not acting like Tron. Tron broke right at that top. Right as we got this exhaustion wick way at the top, and it pulled all the way back. You know what I can't wait to look at is, you know what, Bollinger Bands. Here, this is cross to the negative, but just barely at this time frame. So again, over and over, we're seeing the same confirmation, and I love it just to see the confirmation. Now, let's look at the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Looking pretty negative. You know, I'm trying to stretch it so I can take a look at it here, but even though this is a potential 1, 2, 3 bottom, it is below the cloud on the 4-hour time frame. So if it is going to break above these levels, that would be good. You know, like, it would give us place to build structure before making a decision on this market. Really, it's a sit and wait for a while. This had a breakout for us and it's pulled back, but according to the Ichimoku cloud, it's like sit and wait, because it could hover and go higher from here. no answer on this one until it starts breaking down more seriously. So this has a larger risk to reward ratio, just the setup of this bottom formation now and that Ichimoku cloud. EOS, below the cloud, eking down below the cloud, fading off. To me, this looks, it just jumps out as the little guy standing right here, hands on his hips. I guess better draw a picture than that. Anyway, fella standing here, pissing off the roof. I don't need to draw it any more clear than that. But look at the 1, 2, 3 top formation right here, and down, down, down. Top formation, top formation, top formation. Exhaustion wicks on the way down, just poking out of the cloud and losing steam. Let's go into Ethereum, because again, we get the head and shoulders top, but they're like just the pissing off the roof formation. When that fails and we break that trend line, we just can't ignore it. And especially when the 4-hour EMA crosses. Done deal. There's just no argument with it. The Litecoin down below the cloud, right? Got a lot of work to do before this spits itself back up above the cloud and gives us some support. And I'm surprised. I was really can't argue with the charts. So this is 4-hour that is up above the cloud, TRX. So it could fool around here and bounce up. But again, we'll watch for it to be above the support and resistance levels. Pretty amazing. Ripple. So this is broken through the cloud, made a top formation that we were identifying as this was setting up. The divergences in this were screaming out days ahead of time, actually. I made a video just right in here saying, oh, we're going down. And then it went up for a couple days more before the big pull back down. So some of those things, just got a little bit of wiggle room in that. But really, it's the break of this uptrend line, and then that uptrend line became resistance as it came up here. So as it did this fooling around, let's go see what the Bollinger Band said about that very moment. Let's jump into Bollinger Bands and take a look at ADA. We're looking at the 4-hour time frame, and this is something that I'm interested in, very keenly interested in, because Bitcoin really showed us a great reversal off of the 4-hour band this morning. So here we are looking like it's a top formation, looking like it's going to go down with all of the other indicators, and yet the Bollinger Bands is right in a position where it could be a buy signal. I don't know, of course, but I've been correlating it recently with saying that when the 12-hour Bollinger Band comes down to the band, I want to check the 4-hour to see if it is in the range to make that reversal. Right now, the 12-hour isn't at the band yet. And so when I go into the 4-hour time frame and I see that it is at the band, but the 12-hour isn't, I'm not as keen about it. This one you can see back here was a much better entry because the 12-hour was already at the big band, and then the 4-hour matched it there. So the 4-hour was along the band. When the 12-hour hit the band, then I know that 4-hour is going to lift off of it. So right now, maybe this band will continue down until the 12-hour gets to that spot. And you help me out with this one. So if the 12-hour comes down to this and the 4-hour is matching at that time, we're going to look for that. Just to look for it. Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash, 12 hours. So it's up at the top of the band, not near the 4-hour. Up at the top of the band, and here at the 4-hour, when we're at the top of the band and we're getting these exhaustion wicks, it turned into a good sell signal. And it's crossed through the midline there. Just observing, because I really don't know. I want to know. Let's go to EOS, and I've put together a few different things now. Here on EOS in the 12-hour time frame, we can see these different spots. Now let's zoom into the 4-hour and see if it coincides. 4-hour. Coinciding. So that's really good. This one's harder because the 12 and the 4-hour stayed pretty much along the edge right till the end. Same with this one, not as clean, because the 12 also stayed right along the edge all the way down. So those ones are harder. I don't know. Maybe it's because the range, I don't know when to call that yet. So if you've got any tips on this kind of part of the Bollinger Bands and when to be playing off of that as a reversal, maybe it's after we have the number 1 point, we have the number 2 point, and we are in a sideways action stream, and then we start to use the Bollinger Bands more. I don't know. That's why I'm doing this. Let's go to Ethereum and go into the 12-hour time frame. Here again, this spot and this spot, but not yet this spot. Maybe this spot. So let's zoom into the 4-hour now and see what it says. This spot, yes. This spot, no. Very good. This spot, yes. This spot, yes. And we gave a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation here at the end of a parallel trend line. So now I'm getting some my feet on the ground here, especially on September the 8th or 9th. Right in this period of time, there were some really great bottom formations. Let's watch this one later. Litecoin on the 12-hour time frame gave us a spot here, but rubbed against it all the way down. So I don't know. Rubbed it against it all the way down. Now we hit it here and it bounced up, but we're not at it yet. So if I zoom into the 4-hour time frame, okay, that matches up pretty good. And that we're not at it yet means we'll wait and see if it comes back, because it's a pretty narrow neck. Let's go to Tron and do the same thing. I want to look at the 12-hour. It really came up to the top. It came up to the top there and to the bottom here and here. So let's see if the 4-hour gives us any ideas. So this worked out pretty good. We had the big skewer through the 4-hour, and then it went sideways for a bit, giving us good notice. Here again. So they are matching up really well. The trouble for me is that it rubs up against the edge all the way along. So I don't know if now, you know, it's, I don't know. This was more clear though. And this is coming back to the 4-hour now. Unlike some of the others that are not yet. And I'm just observing this so that I can go back and review it and study it. This is more difficult again, I guess because it stayed above the midline. It's just to pay attention to it. The 1, 2, 3 top formation, as the other indicators were telling us. Now it's come back to these levels. I don't know. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame and take a look at some of these circled levels. So this was pretty good, but again, it's right along the side. 1, 2, 3 bottom. Now I can be doing something with this. So for now, this is still, even though it's come down to the 4-hour, I'm going to just observe until I get something out of my own structure here, something that I can sink my teeth into on this. It's not giving me something I can do details with yet. Whoa, so there's a quick run through of those coins, and I don't know if this is grabbing you or not. Let me know where in the chat if you guys are getting into this. Is this helpful to you? Do you like the structure of me going, say, through ADA and then going through all of the indicators for ADA all the way through? Just stick on ADA all the way through and finish that analysis. Or like today, I went through all of the coins for the specific indicator, trying to see parallels in the coins to see what's going on. Let me know in the chat which one you like better. I'm going to clear this off and zoom in to just pay attention to this gaining strength right now, which would mean that the alts are fading off more yet compared to Bitcoin. If you have any coins you'd like me to take a look at, let's jump into them. But in the meantime, let me clean off Bitcoin here and point out the break of this trend line, which is coming to be called, oh man, I have to go back to our Discord chat and look. Peter came up with a good name for it. As this is coming back to these levels and the RSI is breaking, I do believe that we are going to be staging to go higher. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to get routed in the meantime. It doesn't mean that we're not going to hit some more manipulation. So your risk control rules are still all the best thing. Let's go into just a quick review. We already did this morning and went through it. But now we'll get a chance to do a little update here as we're coming into this. A little bit of volume, but we didn't get very much volume on this one before it took off. Little bit of volume, and this one did the candle wick up and then blasted. This one gave us volume and has pulled back, so they're different. Zoom in and zoom in on this. Give us a little bit of volume, but there's a lot of selling on either side of that. No way to know off of this one right now, but it does look like it's weakening off from this spot. And I was anticipating that this was really bullish, that we had burst up above these levels, from the episode this morning, we were watching right here as the 4-hour Bollinger Bands held their spot and the prices bounced up off of it. Let's go into Bitcoin. And this is almost crossing positive. We can see the histogram's getting shorter here. So if that crosses positive, and the alts are all crossing negative, remember, that would be something pretty spectacular. Right now, the 1 hour is crossing back a little bit. XRP USD, be more a stable coin these days. Let's go see XRP USD. We'll come back to see where this crosses. Does it cross? If this crosses to the negative as we're easing off, are we getting the slingshot effect set up? I think we are. Let's go. I want to finish BTC on the scan here. What's this? 4-hour time frame. So it's coming into the cloud, but we can see that the conversion line, the blue line here, is still below the baseline. It's got to cross as the prices are moving up. We've got to have that blue line cross above the red line for this to be a buy signal in the Ichimoku cloud uptrend. And this is pretty common in the Ichimoku cloud in an uptrend for the prices to be on this side of the cloud. They touch the cloud and then go up. They touch the cloud and then they go up. This is part of the power of the Ichimoku cloud, is knowing that we could be setting up for now a buy signal in the uptrend. Just as we had the sell signal in the downtrend here, we had the sell signals in the downtrend. So let's go now to the Bollinger Bands for Bitcoin and take a quick look at this in the 4-hour time frame, because this morning this really rocked. Where's my scribbler? Right here, right on this candle. And we were watching as it set up, and it really was phenomenal to have this add together with all of the indicators we were watching and to have this signal play out for us right in real time. Zoom in. So as we zoom back here to the 1-hour time frame, it's staying above the midline. So if it does some distance here and stays above the midline, we are changing direction, and you can see the direction of this. You can see the direction change happening here. But really, it's up to this support and resistance level now. We have to hold, the bulls have to hold above these levels and build up on it. If we're starting to slip below these levels, now a whole new analysis has to come in, because we are getting lower highs all the way along. And of course, especially if it's starting to push down below these levels, we'll be really watching the Bollinger Bands. We'll watch these indicators and see if there's something switching off. So let's go to see XRP USD. I go to BitMEX, XRP, get rid of, no, keep the favorites, get rid of Bitcoin. And now I can go XRP USD. BitMEX, Bitcoin, no, keep the favorites, get rid of Bitcoin. XRP USD. XRP. Top formation. 1, 2, 3 top formation. Exhaustion wicks at the top side. Already came off the 4-hour Bollinger Bands. It's already got a big skewer of selling, and this is hope. And we are breaking below these levels. It's just going down. But if it's breaking below those levels, right now, of course, we've just seen that the 4-hour could be the good place to be buying it when it's hitting the 4-hour. Not necessarily always, but for me, this is the 1, 2, 3 top formation that it's already broken down below, and now it's pushing up underneath the armpit, and it's gonna be down again shortly. Let's go to the Ichimoku cloud here on the 4-hour time frame. It's still above the cloud. It's riding up above the cloud, touching it a couple times. It's not as clear, but if it were to have this blue line cross above the red as it's pulling up, that would give me more buy signal belief. But as it's starting to come below these levels into the cloud, then there's nothing to do, but there's no buy signal there. So let's go to, oh, there's Bitcoin moving a bit down. We still haven't crossed over. Let's go to, get rid of Bitcoin, keep my favorites. Ripple USD on the 4-hour time frame. So it has crossed to the negative, and we are seeing a divergence where we've got the double top here, we've got the crosses to the negative, we've got higher highs here a little bit, but then we've got lower and lower and lower crosses. Should this start to flare wider as this is dropping, that's just more confirmation that down more from here. And if you could short that, that would be an option to start a small position, checking that out. Or if you are long in this, it's worth paying attention to this chart for sure. Keep my favorites, get rid of Bitcoin, go to BitMEX, scroll down to XRP USD, selling volume, that's the 15-minute, a little bit zoomed in. 12-hour, we can see that there's a good bit of selling. It's not necessarily, always hard to say, but that it isn't holding anything positive while we're making this formation makes it more of a confirmation, where we've got a good whack of buying here, less buying on the second run up, and then some actual selling in the shoulder here. So it definitely looks like it's coming down from here. And I hate to say definitely on anything that I'm saying here, because the moment that I say definitely, the chart has heard me and is going to do the exact opposite thing. So I don't like to say definitely for anything, but we can say that the RSI breaking below these levels or above these levels is going to be giving us some indication of which direction this is going. All the way along here, the RSI right on these levels is a key decision point. So if it breaks below those levels, it's a key decision point, especially when we're seeing the MACD crossover. We're seeing actually the Bollinger Bands aren't too bad. But the top formation is the main thing for me. 1, 2, 3 top formation. We've got this divergence going on, and that's in the 4-hour time frame too. If I zoom into the 1-hour time frame, it's still got that divergence, still right down to the point of that triangle. That should it break there below this 1, 2, 3, those are sell signals. That's what I add together as a sell signal for me. But where's the best place I should put my stop loss on that? Well, we went through quite a few different coins here, smoking out coins, so I'm not sure where's the best place to put the stop loss specifically on that. But for a general rule of thumb, there's different stages to the trade where your stop loss would be in different places. So let me go back to Binance, filter by Bitcoin. Let's do something that moved. Let's do Ethereum. Clear this off. Zoom back. Let's go to the 12-hour bars. So where would you put the stop on that? Let's say we did a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout trade here. We were fortunate enough to be buying as it started to break out. And as it started to move, like a few minutes later, we put our stop loss up above our entry. And there's really not a lot to do, depending on your trading style and what your goals are. For my own part, I would want to leave my stop loss right where it is there, assuming that we're going to do some sideways action right about here, and that I'm going to add on to my second position later as this is taking off. So as this comes down here and it starts to build up above it, then I'm going to add on to my second Ethereum position, and I am set. That's my whole position now added on. I've safely established a position because I could get in here, put my stop loss above it. Say I bought 100 coins, whatever it is, and here I bought another 100 coins. Then my average entry for the 200 coins is about there, and I can put my stop loss above my average entry on the second phase, and I know I'm safe. I know I've done a profitable trade, and I've added on in a profitable way. And then for my own part, I do a 2-layered stop loss exit, and I let the market tell me when to get out. I try to not make the decision on when to get out of the market. I try to leave that up to the market. So I want the market to go up, whatever it's going to do, make a 1, 2, 3 top formation, and after the top, I'm going to close part of my position on the 4-hour EMA, and after the 12-hour EMA, I close the second part of the position, and that's it. That's it. So it ends up that my profit is actually from here to here and from here to here. Those are my profits. And the bottom is here and the top is here. Everybody else who is giving you trading signals will tell you that you could have made 2,000% where the reality is you could have made 400% and 300%. You know, whatever the details are. So I try to get in after the change of direction, and I try to get out after the change of direction. So my real money is only in this middle part here. How's that for stop loss talk? Hopefully that's helps you. Alex, good to have you along. Smoking altcoins. Go smoke another altcoin. Thino, good to have you here. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you guys being here. This stream has been going on for a long time and is really not growing significantly. We go over some phenomenal information here. It's been very helpful for my own trading, so I hope it is helpful for you. If you do like it and you want more information, today is the last day to get the $15 per month membership in our patron group. And you can get access to the Bull Market Watch spreadsheet either by becoming a patron sponsor over on Patreon or by joining up here on the website. If you haven't already, scroll to the very bottom and put your name in, or just your email in, to receive the free webinar that explains this complete trading system, all stages of the trade, the entries and the exits. Phenomenal training, and I hope it really helps you so that you can make the most out of this live stream, make the most out of our Patreon group, and learn all of these details so that you can put them to use for you right now as we're coming out of these crazy bottom formations. Right now, as Bitcoin is doing a potential crazy move to the upside, well, it's not starting off well right now. Let's pay attention to what's going on here. Has it broken our RSI trend lines? No. So long as it hasn't broken these lines, it's all good. As soon as it's breaking below those lines, as this is breaking, then it's not so good. And we probably are going to experience some pain in Bitcoin because of these exhaustion wicks. No way to know, but as this unfolds, we'll be doing screenshots and conversation over in our Discord chat. Hey, TV, let's go take a look at AGI. Binance. AGI. I had big hopes for AGI back. Where'd it go? I had big hopes for AGI back in the day. As this was setting up here, this seemed insane to me. All of this stuff going on to these candles, it seemed like it was a massive up breakout, and then it faded off. And of course, on April the 1st, it took the big hit and faded with everything else. So now let's zoom in and take a look at what's the RSI doing on this bottom, what's the RSI doing on this bottom, and we have a new low. So it's a little bit lower lows there. Let me clear this off. Well, let's pretty much call those three identical lows. They're so close that it just doesn't matter. We call them 1, 2, 3 lows. So then I want to zoom in on this structure here to see 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, maybe. But if Bitcoin dominance is going up, then this is not going to survive either. I have not seen it yet, right? Bitcoin in the background has got to be picking up off of this little detail here and moving and breaking these levels and building more structure. If Bitcoin is going up, I imagine this is going to come down, but look at the volume coming in. There is some buying going on. There's some buying going on. There's some accumulation. There's some accumulation going on in this coin. So it is, look at the accumulation going on in this coin. These are steady buying. Whatever you want to sell, here's a little whoosh of it going on. All the way through these months, there's been a really great views of accumulation going on here. So it may not be the moment right now for it to take off with Bitcoin dominance showing strength, but I like this, and I've been a real big fan of this chart for a long time. That volume pattern underneath there is really enticing. So somebody is collecting this coin up. Link is blasting again. Quick peek at Bitcoin dominance just to be sure that it isn't dropping hard, because if this is dropping hard, that is important to pay attention to as we're looking at these coins. So let's go take a look at Link. Okay, well, it is picking up a little bit here. It is the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And I like it. I like it because of the number of times it's been hitting off of these levels. I like the consolidation pattern, and I know that if we are looking at, well, okay, this isn't quite as what I was expecting in the relative strength index. I was expecting more of a trend line, but we do have a nice divergence across these three bottoms. I haven't seen that in other different coins. The RSI diverging as nicely as this, and then the breakout. So this coin has been known in the past to go along with Bitcoin, but right now it really stood out backwards to Bitcoin. So I'm really paying attention to when Bitcoin is doing whatever it's doing. This seems to be going backwards. Really seems to be maybe a little bit too overbought right there. So maybe this is just a little whoosh and it doesn't have the power underneath it, but I certainly like it, especially if you were to have been watching it right at this point here. Let's go and take a look at Link in the Bollinger Bands. Let's go to Link, Bitcoin, get rid of my favorites, scroll, Link. Okay, so here again, what's this? The 4-hour time frame, right against the bottom of this median. If I step out to the 12-hour time frame, okay, it didn't come right back far enough to the 12-hour. The 12-hour is still widening. So it seems like we got a little bit of a juice up here, but it doesn't, seems like the rug is going to be pulled out from underneath it yet. I don't know, of course. And if it's taking off above these levels, it doesn't really matter to estimate what might go down, because that's a buy signal. It's a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breaking out. It could be a buy signal and it could be a sell signal in the Bollinger Bands. I don't know. I'm second guessing the 1, 2, 3 bottom breakouts now on all these, so that I look at the Bollinger Bands to say, is this going to give me advance warning that it's a fake out breakout of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation? Usually I like to look at the other indicators. So if I go and take a look at the Bitcoin, get rid of the favorites, go to Binance, scroll, Link. Try that again. Oh, look at Lend. Top formation, big time in Lend. Link is flaring out to the positive as we're going up here. So we've got a cross to the positive on the 4-hour and flaring to the positive. Whereas we were seeing ADA and all the others had flared to the negative. They had crossed to the negative. And you can see here that Bitcoin is showing a bit of strength and they're showing a bit of weakness. Really key, since we just had this massive hit right here. So really paying attention to it. With Link going positive and crossing to the positive, though, I am keen to pay attention to the rest of them to watch this go one way or the other. Is it going to come back up and follow along with what Link just did? Is Litecoin going to cross positive and continue going up from here? At the beginning of the episode, I was expecting that this was going to cross negative. We've got this parallel channel. It's a little wee 1, 2, 3 top formation. Bitcoin is going up. This is going to be dropping down. But with Link showing us that little bit of strength, then I want to double check all of my analysis, because they all move together. So if one of them is leading, I want to know. And then I check all of the rest of them to see which ones are near the same type of formation, where the MACD is crossed to the positive. What's Mana doing? Looking good. Like, these are all looking good. These are all crossing to the positive out of these 1, 2, 3s. Which is really what I want. This would be exactly what I'm wanting for all of the alts. I think that the alts have a lot more potential upside than Bitcoin does, just because they are squished down so much more. Neo, 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, building up. This has to cross to the positive again, though. That's the 4-hour time frame. Let's go to the 1-hour time frame. Let's do the 1-hour time frame again. So on the 1-hour time frame, we've got the cross over here. We've got the cross over here. This looks like it's building. So even though Bitcoin dominance is threatening to go higher out of this little parallel channel, and I'm watching for it. At the same time, I'm also watching for the channel to be broken the other direction. This channel, whichever way it breaks out of, is going to be really key. IOTA USD. Where can I... Let's do it this way. IOTA USDT. Okay, coming off that 4-hour Bollinger Band. Four-hour time frame. So we've got 3 hits off of this bottom. So it is like all of these are shaping up. They're all really shaping up. It's just a matter of watching the entire rack of them and then taking action on those that actually do break above this, and wait and wait and wait and wait. Just keep watching in those that are going sideways like this. So IOTA never got into our bull market watch spreadsheet. It just never made it. It never was one of these coins that went higher here, one of the 79 coins. It wasn't one of them. And if it was a short period of time. Of course, this is looking at against Bitcoin price too. So for all of them, it's much the same thing. And we'll continue to watch in the bull market watch spreadsheet. We'll update that every day. And those that turn to the green status, you will know first. Those that are turning to the alert status, we can open them up and take a look at those. So we have the bull market watch, which is very simple. Gives you the color code. This is the alert status. This is when to hold it. This is when to exit. It covers all of the coins on Poloniex and all of the coins on Binance. So you can pick and choose which ones you want to put into your portfolio and have a second opinion that is objective as to when to get in and when to get out and why. You can learn all of that by following along with our free webinar to learn the complete trading system. And if you find that you like it and you want to do it on a casual basis, our bull market watch spreadsheet can really help you. If you're more of an active trader and you are looking for more aggressive entries on these formations rather than the trend following, our pro alerts may be for you. You can check those out over on the homepage of the website. Grab that training. It's free. It's awesome. I didn't make it up. It's stuff that I've collected over the years, and I put it together in an order that I would like my younger self to have learned. So I would have saved tens of thousands of dollars. I would have saved years and years, decades of learning and learning if I would have learned these things in the right order instead of the accidental order that I learned them in. So today is the day to get the most benefit out of the November spreadsheet. This is the last day for the October bull market watch spreadsheet. I'll be making a copy of this one, and we start off with a new one for the November spreadsheet. And the links, you can find those in our Discord chat. They'll be in the Patreon posting, and I'll also put them over on the Intro to Crypto's website, where we have the bull market watch training material. Let's go back to Bitcoin and see what is it doing. Coming down more, and look at this cross of that cross of the relative strength index as we're doing this. Zoom in. Pretty strong dump there. And all the way along, we had one of the guys in our community right up at the top. He said, I'm shorting this. I'm shorting this. And I said, well, you're crazy. You're crazy. It looks like it's breaking out. It looks like it's going up. So don't listen to anybody else's advice. If you've got a trading system, follow it. Get to know your system. Write it down. Practice it. Follow it. Don't listen to anybody else. It's important that you can take information as you're seeing it. But if you have a system, practice it. Practice it. Follow it. Don't listen to other people. And unless your system isn't working, then definitely try a different approach. I tried a few different approaches before I found one that works best for me, that's easiest, least stress, does the best for me with the least fees, and that's what I teach with the bull market watch spreadsheet. So come and join our Discord. Ba-dum-bum. Where is that link? I will post it again, and we can jump into this stuff a bit later. Where are we now? Bitcoin prices on the way down. Let's see. We'll keep tuned on this. Join us on our Discord chat. We'll be tuning in on this throughout the evening and updates on it as it's coming through these technical levels. We will have Bollinger Band studies on it. We'll have our 1, 2, 3 formation studies. We'll watch for our indicators to be giving us, what do you call the divergences, especially when we're looking at the MACD. So the MACD is crossing positive for a lot of the alts. When I first started the episode, I was expecting to see Bitcoin taking off and to see this crossing positive and to see this all flaring out and that the alts would be suffering, Bitcoin dominance would be rising. But by the end of the episode, now we have Bitcoin dominance hitting a top here and pulling down. Many of the alts giving us a bottom formation with the MACD crossing to the positive, while we have Bitcoin here with the MACD crossing to the negative on this time frame. So coming up and doing this cross to the negative while the alts are crossing to the positive is really key, especially out of these formations. Everything is difficult at this point in the trade. Everything is always difficult when we come to the point of a triangle. It looks bullish, it looks bearish. It looks bullish, it looks bearish. It goes back and forth, back and forth. So the only key to trading these kind of time frames is small. Small. Because if we're right, there'll be time to add on to it later. But small is the name of the game for right now. Like we've got this RSI building up. We've got all sorts of different conflicting indicators when we get to a point of a triangle like this. And I was hoping that today we would see more cohesiveness, but it's actually turning out to be a different analysis than I anticipated. I thought Bitcoin would be taking off and the alts would be suffering. And the alts are actually picking up in general. So now it's time for me to go and to study more spreadsheets, because as this kind of thing is breaking out of a consolidation pattern and we have RSI breakout, I want to be tracking these and I want to put them in our spreadsheets. Get the Intro to Crypto's Cryptocurrency Trading Plan book. Right, that's right. That's the book. It is the book that goes along with this webinar. So you can get the webinar for free, and the book is for $10 over on Amazon. If you join up and subscribe to the color-coded spreadsheet, you get that book and 2 other books for free, as well as easier access to the webinar. Lots of bonuses, lots of ongoing bonuses and videos that you don't find on public YouTube as well. Great stuff there. Look forward to having you guys along. Thanks again for the thumbs up. And I'm still pissed that that chat over there is not working. What is the deal? Refresh cache of current page. Okay, I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for turning up. Well, hopefully this gives us some more money in the cryptocurrencies and some more preparation for what's going on with Bitcoin. I'm still thinking this is going to be pulling up, and this is just a little wee wobble, and that's going to be building and building, and I've absolutely been wrong in the past when I thought that. So let's see, because it's exactly this pattern where I thought, oh, this is going to be it. Oh, this is going to be it. And it keep coming down, we keep coming down, and then I'm finally proven, okay, that wasn't it. Those are those descending wedge triangles, right? Oh, it's going to be here. Oh, it's going to be here. Oh, it's going to be here. No, no, no. Smack, 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 all the way down. So let's watch to see, are we doing that same type of thing here? Building up and crossing over, building up and then crossing over. Are we building up and crossing over right here? Because that's exactly what we're setting up for. Those are the patterns that I'm seeing. So I think that's probably the most valuable insight from this right now, is to look for these kind of patterns. And let me tweet that out. Well, I was going to tweet it out, but there's no tweet link there. That's new. Boom, boom. Adios. BQX weekly candle. I will check it out. BQX. What time is it? Oh yes, still time to get to yoga. BQX. Well, it's 1, 2, it's not a 1, 2, 3. We've got the number 1 point is here. This could be the post-capitulation pattern. Post-capitulation pattern comes down like this and wobbles and consolidates into a triangle and then goes higher, way higher. This would be consistent with the post-capitulation pattern, which is a variation of the 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's a special variation of the 1, 2, 3 bottom that is much more difficult to trade, but to see it building up here is really good, because I've been calling these out earlier that it was the post-capitulation pattern as Bitcoin did this. But, you know, I kind of called the same thing in, look at that, Bitcoin dominance dropping. I called the same thing in April too, when Bitcoin did this big move, and then it continued on. There was some doubt, there was some uncertainty, there was some, you know, all sorts of doubt and uncertainty in that one. So I'm really paying attention now to try not to be doubting and uncertain of it because of this big move. That was really important, and I don't want to overlook it. But when I go to BQX, clear this off, go to the weekly candle, and zoom in on this and get rid of the indicators. It could be a reversal hammer. This is hammer shaped, but the handle and then the anvil on the end, it is hammer shaped. You could almost grab that with a hand and hit something with it. But so is this. So it's not a hammer reversal. So is this, until we get the candle on the other side. So the candle on the other side has got to close above the hammer reversal for it to have hammered and reversed. And correct me if I'm wrong on this hammer reversal analysis, because I don't really focus on the individual candles as much, except to say exhaustion wicks, exhaustion wicks, exhaustion wick, exhaustion wick. So 1, 2, 3, give it to me, turn around, change directions, and then I'm going to be more happy with it. But at the same time, we do have that potential of the post-capitulation buyout strategy. Right after the capitulation, everybody is quiet. And as it comes to this consolidation, it's great because it gives you a very little risk to reward ratio. You could buy it. If it goes above there, you know you're right. You could put your stop loss above and nothing else to do. If it goes down below here, you're proven wrong within a very small area, very small risk. And so then by the time it gets up to here, you can be adding on to your position and doubling your position, because your average would be right there and your stop loss would be above it. So there's that sequence of putting on the small bit of the position. And I love the 1, 2, 3s and these consolidations patterns for the reason of knowing when I'm right and when I'm wrong. And especially when we have a consolidation pattern with a clean level like this, it gives me another place to add on. And if I've done it correctly, I am not adding on so that my stop loss is below where I can, you know, I put the stop loss above my profit level right away. So that second position you have to be patient enough on that and do the math on it so that you know when you add on, you are already in profit no matter what, even if it goes back against you hard. That second position, you can't add on to it until you know that you're going to have your stop above your average entry price. But I love it though. So I think you've been watching this one closely for a while and asking for analysis on it and I think that it's come down to a really important moment, and I wasn't expecting. I was thinking Bitcoin was going to be going up and we're going to get the alts having another hammer party, but this could be it. This could be it. It could be not it. It's really important. And we'll just continue watching over the days. I like that question. Thank you for bringing that up. Another capitulation, post-capitulation pattern. This is all building up. So if we start seeing a raft of these building up above these levels, they could be entry positions right now as we're setting up here. Let me go back to the 3-month view, zoom out. So all of these coins could be setting up really well. For the bull market watch, they will not turn into hold status coins until after they come up above these levels and they finish the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and the exponential moving averages have crossed on the 12-hour time frame. Maybe even on the 1-day time frame because we've been sideways for so long. But the pro alerts, we get more aggressive with those, and we will get into these kind of trades that are building up on this kind of pattern, because I'm assuming that the people in the pro alerts package are actually a little bit more skilled with your trading, and so you're ready for the more advanced entries because you're more familiar with your risk control rules and you're ready to implement them. once you've had some practice with that, then you can start getting into these smaller time frames, the different chart patterns. They're not the 1, 2, 3 bottom necessarily. And they're on shorter risk to reward ratios that you've got to be more on top of, rather than more of an investor that just buys on this day and sells on that day. This is for the trader who's actually there for this minute to be paying attention to this kind of pattern as it's unfolding. So that's what the pro alerts are for. It's much more aggressive, and sometimes the pro alerts will have a hold status for a week before the bull market watch, just because of the more aggressive entries on that. BTC down. Boom. Got a good slap there. And so what was our indicator that told us this was coming? Well, here it is. There's the cross to the negative on the 15-minute time frame, which I don't really pay attention to as much. Here's a cross to the negative as we've been observing right here. So this would mean Bitcoin dominance, if I clear this off, is probably going to be dropping and the alts will be springing up. Whoops. Let's get this to load up. I've got my computer too full of stuff. So look at that, breaking out. Bitcoin's breaking down, exactly opposite to what I was thinking, but we can see it setting up. We can see the breaks in our indicators right here. Wicked to catch it right now. This is the time to be catching these things. Let's clear this. Go to Ripple, you were just pointing out. Ripple's 1, 2, 3 bottom, as it's changing tone right here, it could be it. And I still don't know because these markets are manipulated. What does our friend the Bollinger Band say about Bitcoin on this time frame? Oh, no wonder I couldn't find it. It's going, what? Bitstamp. 1 hour. Okay, it's still down into this area of buying zone. The thing I'm noticing here is that this is no longer level, but is actually on a little bit of a down move. This is a little bit flaring wider here, flaring just a little bit to the downside. 4 hour time frame. Zoom in a bit. So it's coming down to touch the 1 hour, but it's not really flaring wider yet. So I don't know. I'm just observing. This has flared wide and it's close against the edge. So Bollinger Band isn't saying sell out of it yet. It's still actually an accumulation zone to be buying and buying and buying it when it comes down to this 4 hour time frame, so long as we don't break below those levels, because we could be buying and buying and buying and then it goes down more. I don't know. And I don't like to buy on the fade for my own part. I like the 1, 2, 3 and to show of strength on that. Let's go back to the Ichimoku cloud for Bitcoin. Still weaker. It did not cross to the positive yet on the buy signal for the Ichimoku cloud. It hasn't broken down far enough yet to be a sell signal here. Bitcoin, so here it's crossed to the negative on the MACD on the 1 hour time frame. The 12 hour has crossed to the negative. The 4 hour is not crossed to the negative and actually looks like it could be holding its own here and cross to the positive again. But that won't happen until we see the 1 hour gather its strength and go back positive. That won't happen until the 15-minute has cleaned up its act and turned around and gone back positive. Just as we saw it do earlier, it could. Let's zoom into the 5-minute. It's not giving any happiness either. Even though we've got a bit of a pullback here on this candle wick, this hasn't crossed to the positive yet. So right, all of these things, it's looking negative for Bitcoin right at this time frame. The 12 hour, everything but the 4 hour. The 4 hour already crossed negative. Whew. I wonder if I should buy. I don't like, for my own part, I don't like to buy on the candles down like that. And it could be a mistake in my overall trading to not consider that. But when it's coming down, I don't know how much further it's going to be coming down. If it's breaking below a 1, 2, 3 top formation and coming down, I don't want to catch those knives. I want it to wait and consolidate for me. I want it to wait and give me a triangle. Even if I have to wait a while, right? This money's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything. All it's doing is trading this stuff. This is extra money. It's not money that I need to pull out for anything. It can sit there. It can take, for the rest of my life, it can sit there and do its stuff. So that's okay. Let's zoom into the 1 minute bar and see what this is doing. Snap down and pulled back up. It hit the oversold pretty hard there, which it's done so many times. Anyway, that about wraps it up here. We could watch this and watch this and watch this. We do have these exhaustion wick candles going on. It is breaking down these levels. Pretty sketchy right now. I was expecting the other way. I thought that this was going to be rising and that Bitcoin was going to be doing the next leg of a parabolic move up from here. And I still don't count it out. Still don't count it out from what it's doing here. One thing I didn't do in this episode is to look at Bitcoin. Here's both charts at the top are Bitcoin, and the bottom chart here is the Bitcoin longs for the very same time frame. So we can see the longs really dropped off as prices went up. Okay. And then through this middle period, longs went way back up again, and then everybody started to get nervous and all the longs went down. And they're still holding down at pretty low levels, and some of the longs are closing right now. So I don't know what's going to be coming with that, but all the shorts are down at pretty low levels as well. You can see that as we broke up on Friday, all of the shorts went closed. Of course, you would expect that, but then the shorts didn't really build up. Big drop off of them again here. So the shorts are down, the longs are down, and I don't know if this is the right data I should be looking at. 4,600 shorts and 24,000 longs. Is that how many contracts there is? I don't know. What I'm just looking at is the change in these versus time, trying to see what's going on, because I was expecting that the longs would go way up, and then as the longs were way at the top and we were just about to break out higher, everybody's going crazy. That's when I thought the big hammer would come down and wreck all of the longs, but they got wrecked on the way up. I don't get it. And then they're now closing their longs. So we'll observe this one over the next few days to see what happens with this as well. I will sign off and we'll continue on this observation on our Discord chat, because this is looking like a hammer reversal setting up here in Bitcoin, and there's just no way to know. It is very super sketchy right now. Whipsaw City. Everybody's getting whipsawed in this 1 minute time frame. However, at this, no matter what the whipsaw is, we can see that it's broken below these levels. There's some really mechanical stuff going on here too. Look at this whipsaw. This is really mechanical. All the way through. That's really interesting here on this 1 minute time frame. Right through this period of time here, something changed and became very mechanical. Selling, waiting, like two bots fighting against each other. One of them lost so far. Cool. So thanks again for the notes there, Smoking Altcoins, to share the free webinar and the links and everything like that. I will sign off now and bid you guys all the best in the rest of your cryptocurrency trading today. Cheers. Bye for now.